know Ben Shapiro. If you don't, where have you been? He's become one of the nation's leading figures in the effort to preserve free speech, especially on campus. He's also been the frequent target of leftists who are trying to shut down his speech. What's the latest attempt? I was waiting for this. Okay, this is a campaign now to blame Ben Shapiro for inciting a deadly terror attack on a Canadian mosque last year. We welcome back to The Angle Ben Shapiro, the editor-in-chief of the Daily Wire. And he looks so unassuming and like, Ben, I don't know, what do you weigh, 150 pounds? I mean, you're like in
about
shape.
165. I'm bulking up, come on.
But I'm saying, like, you don't look like all that intimidating. I mean, you write stuff and you go on TV, but explain how you are allegedly involved in inspiring this horrible attack on a mosque, because you made comments about Islamic terror in the past, and it was all stitched together?
So there's this evil piece of human crap who shot up a mosque last year, and this evil piece of human crap happened to be somebody who had seen some of my tweets on Twitter, as prosecutors found. Now, he'd also seen tweets from people like Brett Baer. He's seen tweets from you. He's seen tweets from a bunch of different people. But it was, I guess my account was the one that he had viewed the most. Now, I have 1.4 million Twitter followers. So I guess the idea from the left is that if somebody views enough of my tweets, they're inevitably going to become a terrorist. Weird that I don't have a spate of enormous terrorism across the country thanks to my Twitter following. But, of course, none of this is real. I mean, when Bernie Sanders, a Bernie Sanders supporter, shot up a congressional baseball game, people on the right did not say this was Bernie Sanders' fault. Bernie Sanders incited the violence.
We played
this
fair,
is a crazy
though, Ben.
person.
Yeah, we played fair, and they don't care about those rules. So what their goal is, and this is why we bring you on for this series, their goal is to intimidate other conservatives using you as an abject lesson. We're going to use you as an example. Don't speak out on these issues, because if you do, we don't care. We could be in, it doesn't matter if it's in Canada or Australia or anywhere else. We are going to brand you a hater. We're going to try to stop your livelihood, stop you from making money, stop you from getting speeches. That's what this is about, is it not? So it's this malcontent in Canada who's kicking up a fuss. We've seen it with the Southern Poverty Law Center, with their obscene list of Islamic, what is it, Islamophobes or whatever. I'm on that. I think I'm on that list. Ridiculous. But they do it to shut down speech.
No question. If you're going to talk about the SPLC, by their same logic, they're responsible for the attack on the Family Research Council a few years back, since the guy who shot up the Family Research Council was a follower of the SPLC and used their map of hate groups as a target. So all of this is really dangerous, and all of it is leading to an attempt in the United States by people on the far left to imitate what we've seen in places like Britain, in places like Canada, to actually shut down dissenting points of view if those dissenting points of view do not meet with the politically correct standards of the left. So the fact that I've tweeted out about the evils of radical Islam, and I cut a video talking about the percentage of Muslims worldwide who may believe radical things based on polling data from the Pew Research Center, this apparently was enough to blame me for a terrorist attack that has nothing to do with me, that I have obviously denounced, that was, as I say, committed by an evil piece of human debris. But again, all of this is nonsense generated by the left specifically in order to shut down free speech. That's their goal.
All right. Kanye West has become a very interesting figure on the cultural scene, no doubt, expressing his love for many people, but among them, most controversially, is Donald Trump. And now he's gotten attacked by everybody, comments he made about slavery being a choice, which is not obviously what he meant. But now it turns out that we're seeing, perhaps connected, we don't know, an increase in support among African Americans, especially African American men, double support to, I guess the figure is now it's up to 22%. It was 11% approval. Now it's 22%, where the overall approval is also increasing, I believe, to 16% from 8%. That's interesting. Is it just a coincidence here with Kanye West?
It's impossible to tell, obviously, whether it's a coincidence in this short period of time. But I will say this. What Kanye did by basically saying, think for yourself, if that's such a threat to the left, it demonstrates how the left has to use identity politics to shut down any real debate. Listen, I don't think that Kanye West ought to be nominated for head of the Heritage Foundation, right? I don't think the guy is spending his off hours reading Frederick Hayek. But what Kanye did say here, which is very simple, is, listen, I'm not just a black guy, and I'm not just a Hollywood celebrity. I'm an individual with my own thoughts and feelings. I get to formulate my own logic, and I also get to figure out what I believe. And if everybody else thought like this, then perhaps we ought to be able to have these conversations that we haven't been able to have so far. Good for Kanye West for at least beginning the conversation. I mean, I'm stunned that it's Kanye doing it, but the guy gets all the credit. I mean, it is a pretty amazing stand that he's taking at a time when he doesn't have to take it.
Well, I just think he's trying to say to people, you don't have to be imprisoned by your past. As hard as it was, as abusive and unfair and unjust as it was, it doesn't have to define your future. And a lot of philosophers have said that over the centuries and, frankly, over the millennia. You can create your own identity. Hillary Clinton was out there yesterday, day before yesterday, a Q&A about socialism, America, whatever. Let's watch.
You may be the only presidential candidate since World War II that actually had to stand up and say, I am a capitalist. And you did. Did it hurt you?
Probably. I mean, you know, it's hard. It's hard to know. But I mean, if you're in the Iowa caucuses and 41% of Democrats are socialists or self-described socialists, and I'm asked, are you a capitalist? And I say yes, but with appropriate regulation and appropriate accountability. You know, that probably gets lost in the, oh, my gosh, she's a capitalist.
All right, Ben, like one sentence.
She actually told the truth. Good for Hillary. She finally stumbled across something that is true, and she said it. Democrats are tending toward socialism. What can you say?
Inadvertent, but nevertheless, she was bundled up quite a bit there.
I can't believe this. What Kanye West did is a cool thing. What Kanye West did is something that I, Ben Shapiro, approve. Yay, time for yay. Okay, so Kanye is now meeting with Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk, which is hilarious. I know both Candace and Charlie, and it's really, really, really funny. So everything is hilarious and funny. And a quick clarification. If I did not make clear last week, I think all of this is ridiculous and stupid. I think that what Kanye is doing insofar as he is speaking up on behalf of individualism is a good thing. But I think that the worship of celebrity in general is hilarious and stupid. I think the worship of Kanye in specific is really stupid. But Kanye is doing something that I think is deeply necessary because the closed-mindedness of the left is so crazy. They're calling Jordan Peterson an alt-rightnik, and they are suggesting that Joy Reid gave a good apology the other day. They are so closed off. They've closed the window of acceptable discourse so tightly that anyone who's even slightly outside that window of acceptable discourse now must be banned. So Kanye West came out last week, of course, in the greatest story in human history, and suggested that not all black folks have to vote Democrat. Chance the Rapper, by the way, tweeted the same thing and then backed off of it. Then Chance the Rapper said, I understand it's true that not all black people have to vote Democrat, but I shouldn't be saying that at this important time when Trump is president, which is like, what the hell? And well, what is it? I mean, real pansy move, dude. I mean, real pansy move. If you're going to say that black people don't have to vote Democrat, that is true. No matter who is the president, you can say, I don't like Trump, but black people don't have to vote Democrat. This is true. Okay, but in any case, Kanye made a big splash when he said that he's thinking for himself now, and then obviously meeting with Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk is just more evidence that he is thinking for himself. It's pretty fascinating and hilarious. Well, now President Trump is touting Kanye, so he did a speech on Saturday night combating the White House Correspondents Association dinner. And here is President Trump lauding Kanye West.
And by the way, in all fairness, Kanye West gets it. He gets it. He gets it.
It's so good.
And he saw that. When he sees that African-American unemployment is the lowest in history, you know, people are watching. That's a very important thing he's done for his legacy. It's a very important thing. But Hispanic unemployment, lowest level in history.
It's just incredible. Okay, so Kanye comes out, and Trump, of course, is willing to go out there and talk about it. And then Kanye did something else. And this I actually think is kind of cool. Okay, I will acknowledge when Kanye does something that's cool, right? I think that it's cool that he's speaking about individualism. Then he did something else. He released a track called Ye versus the People. I got it right this time. It's not Ye, it's Ye versus the People, even though it's spelled Y-E. All right? And his rap song is with a rapper named T.I., which is, of course, his given name. He came out of his mother's womb, and they called him T.I. And Kanye is rapping with T.I. And the point of this rap song is that they are discussing exactly what Kanye has been doing, and he lets T.I. go at him. He lets T.I. say, dude, you're selling out black folks, and it's really terrible what you're doing, and good for Kanye, right? I mean, this is something that we've tried to do at the Daily Wire. Like, we used to have John Nolte right over here. John Nolte is a very, very pro-Trump guy, and I disagreed with him about a lot of things, but what I said is, listen, it's a point of view I think is worth clarifying, and in our conflict, you can see the clarification. So Kanye is actually hosting a debate here. that Kanye is saying, come on into my house, and we're going to have a rap battle with each other about an issue that matters, which is kind of a cool thing. I will acknowledge this is...